You can do it too. Easy as 1, 2, 3. You can do it too. Come along and draw with me. Pads and pencils, a very good start. So when you draw with your heart. You draw with your heart, 'cause you can do it too. You can do it too. You can do it too.
Hi everybody, I'm Lydia Forte-Santiago, and here I am in the 9th art lesson. Now remember in the past I gave you art lessons on an apple, a pear. I did a little tea kettle and we did a little flower. Today we're going to do something a little different. That was with the medium pastel. We're not using pastel today. Today we're going to use oil paints. I have a little painting that I did, and it's of a little sailboat sailing, and it's on a little rough seas with nice menacing crowds like a storm is going on over here. And what I did, this is the little canvas, this is what we're going to work from. So let's get started. This canvas is tone. That means, what do I mean by that? It means I'm working with a small little palette. I have raw umber, which is brown. I have ivory black. I have ultramarine blue, and I have white. And these are the colors that I need. Now, the little canvas is a small little canvas. And what we're going to do is, this is my caliper. What we're going to do first is we're going to draw it out. We're going to sketch this out. Now, we're going to measure. And I'm going to mark it. I'm going to mark it right here. And I just put little dots. And then I measure over here for a distance. And I put another little dot there. So you kind of get an idea. And then I measure where we're going to place our little boat. I measure the length of it. And I bring it over here. About, say, put a little dot there. And I put a little dot over there. And then I measure the length of the boat with my caliper. I go like that. And I measure there and there. So you get some sort of an idea before you even start the drawing. Because this is what we first start to do. Now I kind of wipe this off clean a little bit so it won't be too. And we just kind of draw a line. I could use my maul stick. Now this maul stick is used for steady, because if you don't use a maul stick, sometimes the hand tends to shake a little bit. You don't have a steady line. So with the maul stick, which is this, I always get steady lines. This is how I did this Richmond County scene with all these lines. I did it with the maul stick. So you lean on it and you just bring it over, right, very lightly. So you just bring it over, and you get, at least you get some sort of an idea where the horizon is going to be. Then right where the boat is going to be, you bring it down. So what I'm just doing is just laying out my groundwork. Boat is going to be here, and you just sketch it out. And then it's going to come down there. There's a little American flag waving up here. And then we have the sails with a nice whooping. This wind is whipping across, as you can see. And then we have the boom, which the sails are rolled in. It's very windy. And we have some idea of where we're going to lay out our groundwork. Right in here, as you could see, this would be all the cast shadow that's throwing off from the boat. And it's dark, because clouds are dark, it's menacing. And right in here, you also darken it a little bit. And then you can kind of bring in your sails and just kind of like stroke them in. Painting is a little bit different than the pastel. Painting is a little bit, it's oil, so it has to, it's easy. It has to kind of dry a little bit, and you have to have your brush kind of semi-dry in the beginning because you don't want too much paint on it. You don't want to build it up that much right away. Then you could start putting in, dipping a little bit. This is a little bit medium. It's a little bit of oil. And you kind of start bringing in some waves. Like that. You're throwing some, you mix in, you always mix these colors in a little bit. And you build it up, you know, it's what you call is thin on thin. With paint, you build it up. You don't kind of apply it all thick right away. You have to build this up. It takes a little time, but like I said, if I could do it, you could do it too. And it's always fun, and it always makes the time go by really, really fast. And like I said, art is a passion. You have to love what you do. And always try to find things that you like. I find that if you paint things that you like, paintings even come out better. We're gonna put some clouds in. You're mixing a little medium. Mixing this medium makes it a lot easier to work with. You know, just, you're kind of like, and you're darkening these clouds. You make this look like it's, you build it. See, with oil paint, you build it up. You build layers, you let it dry, you come back, you build it up. And little by little, you'll see how it starts coming to life. Takes a little time, but it's built up slowly but surely. Oops, let me just take this a little bit away here, put it there, yeah. Now I just take a little bit darkness here, and we're gonna kind of build this boat up a little bit. See, first I drew it lightly and I took my time, and now I come back and I bring this boat and just sharpen this, and you sort of block it out. And remember, your darks always go in first. You always put in your darks. And there's the boom. And here you can kind of swing this sail, because it seems like these waters are really rough. So let's make them rough. And we'll put 2 people on the boat there, or we'll kind of detail them in later. Or just block them in. You build it up nice and slow, and you just kind of take this in, and you put in a little medium, because medium just kind of makes the paint slide a little bit, glow a little bit. Darken it up. don't worry about what it looks right away, because what you do is you wipe it off too. You know, sometimes there's a little bit of paint, you just kind of wipe it off like that. And you kind of like blend it in. So it's, you know, you rough it up a little bit. What we're trying to do really here, we're really just trying to lay the groundwork, the sketch. We're trying to get it down, and, you know, then as you come back to it, you come back later on with detail and you build it up. And you try to build some clouds up here. So we're going to kind of build this up like that. You're gonna. Now remember what I told you. If I could do it, you could do it too. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, like my little tune. There it is. We have to make this come alive. And this sails. We could put these in. There, make it a little bit rough there. And now we could kind of look at the boat, at this shape of this boat, which is like there. And the back of the boat, which would be there. This is more or less like in the drawing. Yeah. And then this is just kind of like a little bit rough. See, as you build it up, it begins to come alive. You just keep on over and over again until I find thin on thin is the best way, because you don't get the paint all in one spot. You kind of build it. Here's the boom, like I said before. There's a boom over here, and there's this coming here. And sometimes I take paint. You see what I'm doing now? I take paint from another spot and I dip it in to get the, and right here, this. And always try to feel, like I remember when I was in art school, always try to feel what you're painting. If it's a wind, try to feel like the wind. If, you know, this obviously is a storm, so you want to kind of have that feeling of it. You want to, there's a little bit of sailboat right in here, and you did like a little bit of a sail there kind of picked up, and then right in here, this is sort of like the part of the sails that shows a little bit more color, you know. A little tone down with a little raw umber, like that, you know. You know, sometimes I do a little painting and I'll do it once and then I'll do it a second time and I'll do it just to get the hang of it, you know, so you'll get it. And another thing too, you can kind of wipe off, get some clouds in here, so you can kind of wipe off these, get some little clouds, and that can come out. You're always trying to punch out your painting, like kind of bring it out, you know, add a little drama to it, you know. And you bring this down, see, and it's, there it is. And you just keep building it up until you get it right. Now this gets a little bit more intense. The more intense it is, the more dramatic, the more realistic it becomes. And you keep at it, you know, it's something that You don't just let it go. You know, you just keep on with the painting until you get the drama of it, the sketch you feel. You have to feel this little bit of a turbulence that's going on here to make it look dramatic. Like that. This is a little, put a little there. This is a little dark. Like that. It's a little rough over here, so we want to emphasize that. And over here we want to emphasize that there's a little bit of roughness going on because this water it's stormy. So we want to make that stormy. Yeah. And then what I do is we take a little bit of a towel like this and we just kind of like wipe it off, blend it off a little bit to make a little drama here. There, like that. And we back off, you look at it, you study it, you see where you're going with the sketch, you know. And then like right back here is the water, so we're gonna kind of change that look. We're gonna make that a little bit lighter, like you see over here, it's lighter. So we're gonna take from here and we're gonna bring this light, and we're gonna lighten this. And by doing this, you kind of see that there's a distance here going on. So right here, it's the back. And you make this, you kind of like, and you back up and you look at your picture and you see where you're going with it, you know. And then you come back in and you draw that. Like that. So you're constantly looking at it and observing it and changing it and looking for where you could add the drama to it. You know, it's not one pass. It's never one pass. Right here there would be a lot of water here because of the boat, and here it would be gushing too because of the back right there. So you we want to add that. We want to make that look a little dramatic, and right here too. And little by little, this little painting, we want to make it look like an old master. And we want to make it dramatic. So it starts punching out. You know. And you just stroke it, you know, and just add a little bit drama to it. And then you blend it in. You blend in here, you blend this in. And you mix your tones, so your tones could kind of work into one tone to the other tone. Like if you see what I'm doing here, there's a grayish color, and then I kind of go, it gets darker. It's kind of change of value. That's what it is. Remember we discussed value last time I changed? It's change of value. And it's kind of like a gradual change of value, you know. So it's like I'm changing these values, but I'm going from dark, which is that, and then I go into a little faded, and then I go a little lighter. Then now I'm kind of, oh, and another thing too, you stroke the brush, like here we're doing waves, so stroke the brush in that way. Like I'm pushing it that way, you know, like pretend like it is the water and it's being pushed, you know. So you see kind of like the form that it's moving, you know. And you get right here there's some clouds, and as I'm looking there, you can kind of like punch them in too. It's always, and if you find things that you like to do, like whatever you like to do in art, if it's doing pets or people or landscapes, you know, target the things you love most. Flowers, some people like doing flowers. I find that if you target what you love to do best, you become really good at it, you know. So look for things that you love to do, and that's what you want to do. Because it's really enjoyable, it's fun, it's therapeutic, it's relaxing. Time could go by without you thinking of anything else but painting, because you're really focused on the painting. So that's really fun. You know. So this is the 9th lessons, and you know, I don't know if you've missed any of my lessons, but if you have, go on YouTube, Lydia, Lydia, Forte, Forte, Santiago, Santiago, and you will find me on YouTube, and you will get the lessons that you might have missed. I have a few art lessons with the apple and the pear and the flower. You might have missed those lessons. So if you did, you will see it on YouTube. And you know what you do too? Sometimes you kind of do something a couple of times, like you do something over and you do it again and again. And after a while, it just comes to you. It gets easier. The more you do something, the easier you get. Right here, there's like I'm looking over here. I put 2 little guys here. So they're sailing and it's whipping up. So I'm gonna do like an impressionistic thing. I'm just gonna put 2 little heads and like somebody's there, you know, like that. Like from a distance, it looks like somebody's there. You don't have to actually draw all the little detail because it's so far. But the point is that you could see there's a figure there, and they're kind of working with the boat so that you could see. And then, you know, like the more you get into this little painting, the more you do the detail, and you get really intense at what you're doing, you know. So, but in the beginning, you just basically, you do your sketch. There's a little flag, American flag over here. Oh, let's put it in. You know. We'll just put a little flag there, and then later on we'll kind of add a little color to it, you know, like that, you know. And then we could put the sails there. And now we're kind of just like, now we're kind of have some feel of this. Now, in the next lessons, we'll get more involved with the detail and everything, and we'll even make it a little bit more intense. But right now, we're working out on the sketch, so we're going at it at a slow pace. So you could see it's moving along. You know. Let's get these waves, let's get those waves in there. And of course, this you can't really see too much because this is kind of like the back of the boat, and there's a lot of shadow here. So we'll just kind of, as I'm looking at this little picture, it's lost there in the waves, the water, all this is kind of like one big blur. Yeah, because you can't really see all that stuff going on. You know, it's rough, and the little figures are there. You know, and then we could put a little bit of water here and a little bit back there because it's moving along. And then when we come back in our next lessons, we'll kind of detail this a little bit more. And we'll make it more intense. And that's what you do with the painting. You know, you do it for a while, you let it go, it dries up a little bit, and then you come back and you bring it to life. This is a distance here, so you want to bring that out a little bit. Yeah. Not as light as the waves in the front. So you just wipe that off a little bit, make that a little bit, because that's distant. So, you know, you want to make it a little distant. And then you look at it from the back and you see, and it's like, it's shaping up, it's coming to life. Over here, you want to bring your clouds up. You bring them up a little bit like that, you know. So this is the way you do it, you know. And we still have to come back to it, and in our next lesson, I'll show you the little bit more detail. But basically, we're getting to the overall picture, you know, which is nice. You know. So, painting is a passion. It's something you love to do. It's something that you can enjoy forever. And the more you do it, the more you begin to love it. And it's really easy. It's something that if I could do, you could do it too. And a lot of times I went to the museums and I sat there and I said, oh, I wish I could do that. I could never do that. And then I said, oh no, I can do it. And if you believe in yourself and you have the faith in yourself and you know you're going to do something and you put it in your mind to do it, you will do it. It always works like that. Whenever I tackle a painting, I look at it and I say, I am going to do this. And I picture it in my mind. And I let my unconscious go to work. And I said, this is going to happen. I'm going to do it. And it's going to come out just as beautiful as I picture it to be. And sure enough, I get good results. That's how I did this. It wasn't quick. I took time and I slowly and I did it. So this is what I'm passing on to you. Believe in yourself. You have the confidence. You have the faith in yourself. And you tell your unconscious mind, I'm going to do it. I will do it. I can do it. And if she can do it, I certainly can do it too. I'm no different than you. And you can do it too. So remember, now look at the little painting. We back up, we look at it, we see it, and it's coming to life. So the more you detail this, and you back up and you kind of look at the wave formation, and you kind of feel that little boat moving about. And we could put a little bit of a blue there for the flag, the blue flag. And then there's a little red in here that shows up. So let's just kind of like put a little red there. Like the American flag is blowing up there in the wind. You gotta show that, you know. And then right here, there's a little spot that has to be removed. So you just kind of clean it. Oh, and clean your painting. Always clean it. Make it neat. Make this goes like that. The clouds, everything is blended in. And then you back up. You always back up. It's like if you're too close to something, you can't really see it. But if you back up, you kind of put it into perspective and you see it better. So every now and then as I paint, I back up and I look at it. So always remember, if I could do it, you could do it too. It's easy, it's fun. Now next time we come around to the next lesson, you will see that we will just detail this painting a little bit more. And by detailing it, we'll get it fine.
You can do it too. Easy as 1, 2, 3. You can do it too. Come along and draw with me. Pads and pencils, a very good start. So when you draw with your heart. You draw with your heart, 'cause you can do it too.